Ladies and gentlemen, since the protest started in Kenya, we've been having very many deaths occurring. Most of the youths actually in the country are patriotically lost their lives. Some of them lost their life holding the flag, phone, water, or even a mask. It is a very painful situation in the country, and most of us really castigate most of our police officers who are doing things that are not supposed to be done in our homeland of Kenya. Now, these kind of activities have not been good with Kenyans. Most of the Kenyans have been castigating the police officers. Most of the Kenyans have developed hatred to the police officers, which led us to seeing most of the Kenyan content creators showing how the police are ignorant of their problems, particularly the ones even being fought for by some of the Gen Zs and millennials in the streets. Now, during all this time, Kenyans have been crying that the police officers are having weird ways of coming out to the streets. People wearing masks, others are in civilian clothes, people are having cars without number plates, people are coming well armed, people are firing live on camera, and it has been something that is stressing and disturbing Kenyans across the country and across the world, of course. Now, at this level here, I want to do a video trying to show why Kenyans were embracing the KDF who came to the streets, and why Kenyans right now are developing much more love and connection to the Kenyan KDF than the police officers in the country. But before I do so, kindly if this is the first time you're watching our videos, make sure that you subscribe, like and comment, because that's the best support you can always give this channel. Let me dive into the topic directly. Why is the Kenyan KDF now setting history across the world? First of all, after people had occupied parliament, through Aden Duale, there were memos that were written to the National Assembly, and we had the Kenya Defense Forces being deployed in the Nairobi streets to ensure there's law and order. Despite not being their work, they came to the streets. And when they came to the streets, we didn't see what people expected to be done. That is mass killings or maybe brutally handling citizens. But instead, we saw strange things happening. What were these? The first one, it is that the KDF were embracing Kenyan citizens. The Kenyan citizens could come closer to their cars. Some of them even board their cars as they move around the cities in various parts of the country. Kenyans did not feel now intimidated by this kind of operations within the city. So we had Kenyans actually moving closer to the KDF, interacting with them, taking their cars, riding with them, singing songs of revelation in the country. And that is what we've been talking about the police of Kenya to embrace. Because whatever was happening, it was something that was constitutional. That was really nice, and everybody was happy, and the professionalism that was shown by the Kenyan KDF was being talked about all over the world. Another thing that I realized from this is that there's no disruption of the normal citizens' constitutional protests. We had the Kenyan KDF, whenever they come to the streets and if you are protesting, there's nothing they did to harm you. There's nothing they did. They didn't throw tear gas to you, to protesters. They were just moving around the streets, and whenever they met protesters, the reception was warm. It was a warm welcome. It was cheering them here and there, and that one actually showed a lot of respect to the people of Kenya and even their rights as normal citizens. Another thing they did, it is that there was no harming of any innocent citizen. You know, people expected once they come, whenever people go to the streets, they'll be firing, because one of the things that we know about the KDF, they don't have tear gas. They don't shoot at police officers. They don't shoot at common citizens. Instead, they deal with enemies. And when you come to the street and find people having flags, water, masks, bags on their backs that are carrying just water, why do you shoot at these people? The KDF did not do so. And as a result, most of the Kenyans right now want the KDF more in the streets than having the policemen, because the KDF have acted professionally every now and then whenever they're given a chance. And that is what we are calling for. Another thing that happened, it is that they displayed respect and understanding a lot. Whenever they come and dance, they did not push these people away. When protests came closer, riding on their vehicles, they did not push them away. They relaxed. They talked to them. In fact, the police even could go, the KDF could go to the police officers and ask them, what do you like us to do? How would you like us to assist? And whenever there's a problem, the police could share with them and tell them what you can assist us. It's on this and that. And that is the respect and the professionalism we expect from our forces in the country. That was really nice. There's a case that has been reported in Madare, where I think it was in Pipeline, where we had a police officer trying to throw tear gas at the people, and actually the KDF officers could go and stop them whenever they came to the ground to ensure that people were relaxed. Everyone stopped doing the skirmishes, throwing tear gas, shooting here and there. So we realized that at this point, the police officers relaxed, and the people there were very happy with the actions of the KDF. Now, this was a really heartwarming action by the Kenyan Defense Forces. Why am I saying so? In other nations like Uganda, the moment people try to go to the streets, the Uganda forces actually do come into the streets and brutally handle these people. Most of them are shot, beaten from the streets, and most of them arrested. And actually, that's how the protests in Uganda are always stopped. If you go to Nigeria, we had the defense forces of there also warning the people against going to the streets, particularly against doing what Kenya has been doing. These are not the things that should be coming out from the defense forces, because when the leadership of the country fails, the defense forces come in. But if the defense forces during these times when the leaders have failed, they don't show any form of courtesy, any form of respect to the feelings of the people, then that means very well that Kenya is very high in terms of respect of the rule of law, and that the defense forces can help. But if the defense forces keep on threatening its people, then that means that country is in danger. Therefore, I want to take this opportunity on this video to thank the Kenyan Defense Forces for respecting the lives of Kenyans, the constitutional rights of Kenyans, and most of all, respecting the grievances that Kenyans are raising. Now, going forward, we are having marches to the streets again. We believe that the police officers of the country will be able to respect the rule of law, respect the protesters, and protect them while they're on the streets doing their work. That is my video there and there. And if this is the first time once again you're watching our videos, make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that's the best support you can always give this channel.